Sorry, guys. Freaking thing dropped. Alrighty, hopefully you can see me. I'm just gonna get right into it. Let me fix this up. The phone fell down. Okay. I'm just gonna get right into it. Gotta get my phone. Alright, guys. I'm just gonna get right into it real quick. Whew. Let me get on here real quick. I'm just gonna get I just want to thank everyone for prayers and who's out there, and anyone who watches this video. We appreciate it. Okay, here we go. Alrighty. Anyway, we got there early, and I was the last one to get surgery on it and stuff. Thank you, Michelle. So I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm just gonna get right into it. Not to drag this out too long, but hopefully you could see me. BB sleeping. It was wild. It was I will say this much: if you do go for a kidney stone with the stent, where they blast it, you will get a catheter. There is a 50-50 chance you'll get a catheter in you, but the catheter only stays with you in recovery, and then they take it out real quick. When I heard that, I started to cry. My PTSD was kicking in from the past experience I had from the prostate cancer. The doctor assured me that if he had to put in a catheter in me, that he would put me back to sleep to take the catheter out. So that it eased me up a little bit to know that he would put me to sleep to take the catheter out, because that's my biggest fear, was that there. In the stent, hopefully you guys can see me. I'm trying not to sit too far back. But I am trying to put the light to my face so you guys can see me. So they did blasted it. They did put the stent on it. I do have a string coming out of my private area there. And it's taped to the top of the private area. Because I was thinking like, oh my God, what if my private area decides it wants to get, erected? It's going to pull the string, but it's there so that if you did have an erection, you don't have to worry about that string being pulled on. They gave you enough slack, and they put the tape there. So thank God on that there. But other than that, this stupid freaking thing here, I'm telling you, my phone is. But I just want to let everybody know that there we go. Just want to let everybody know that it's not that bad of a surgery there. Let me see if I can put it like that. It's not that bad of a surgery. I think I got there, it was like 9:45. They took me in about almost 1 o'clock, because there's other people in front of me. Again, I was the last one there. I didn't need the catheter. If they did do the catheter, I didn't even know if they did the catheter or not. But all I know is when I woke up, there was no catheter, uh, and they got me out. They do say sometimes people will be with a catheter, and again, I don't have a prostate, so it's not like my prostate would have gotten swollen and it would have closed the area to urinate. And I'm sorry I'm using words that private areas and stuff like that. I'm just trying to be respectful to people and just trying to make this video as good, because I will make a video tomorrow, of course, for you guys that are going through the same thing. What else? I've been drinking water ever since I got home, just sleeping on and off. It does hurt to pee a little bit at the tip of my private area there, and where the stent is at. It does hurt when you pee there. It's like almost someone kicking you in the huevos when you pee. I've been taking pain medicine and stuff, but the pain only lasts is about a minute or less than a minute. That when you urinate and stuff, I'm just peeing out blood, which is normal, and I've just been drinking a lot of lemon water just to keep myself peeing, because I don't want no blood clots. And again, I don't want someone to put a catheter in there and have the catheter stay in there. Right now, when I'm urinating, no stones are popping out, and I think that's because the stent is in there, and they say the stent is real small, so it should be uncomfortable coming out, but it shouldn't hurt as a catheter. I did ask for, or I don't remember asking. Maybe I know I said, like, at least give me a volume for when they take it out, so I can be more relaxed. But they gave me. I'm already on pain management, so I already have my pain medicine. They gave me like a Valium to take like 30 minutes before I visit the doctor for them to take it out, which is cool because, doesn't hurt to ask. If you're scared, you're scared. I mean, I never had this happen to me before, other than the prostate cancer, and I had a bad experience through the prostate cancer. And, I blame the prostate cancer for giving me that PTSD. But, it is what it is. But other than that, I think everything is good just until the 8th. It's a little uncomfortable. Like I said, it hurts at the tip a little bit, but it's not all the time. You just only when I pee. I have to grab my private area a little bit when I pee, because that first initial pee when you pee out there, it does. I don't want to say it kind of like stings a little. I never had like, or maybe I did. Maybe I had a UTI, but I guess it's kind of like a UTI. Like that tip area just stings a little bit. But now it doesn't hurt where the stent is at, because I'm steadily peeing and stuff. So I've just been staying on the chair, like sitting upright. That way I'm not laying down, because I'm still uncomfortable. Like, you can't wear an underwear, or you probably could wear an underwear. I was thinking that I might have been able to wear a pad and just pee in the pad, but it seems like there's like gooey stuff coming out, and your private area sticks to the pad, and then you got all that blood there, so it's like you don't want to get that infected. But then it was like hurting it worse more. So yeah, everything. I think everything is good, is going good so far. It's just that little pain, discomfort in the beginning of peeing, and then just sometimes it might hurt where the thing, like I said, the stent is at, because again, that's draining now. Before it was blocked, so now it's draining. So, but it's not a long, steady pain there. It's just a short, like I said, it could be less than a minute, less than 30 seconds, but you're like, ooh, but it's tolerable. It is tolerable. So, that's the good thing. Thanks, Travis. But it's like I said, I just, I guess we'll see it in the next few days. I guess I just got to get comfortable to it. If it was a choice of having a catheter to try to get comfortable, then this little string, you get the same sensation again in the tippity part of your private area. So yeah, I mean it is what it is. It could be sore again because they went that way uh, with the medical device and stuff. So and but yeah, it's like I said, if you could tolerate pain and stuff like that, I guess it's worth it. It was just one stupid stone stuck in the the right side of the kidney right before the bladder and stuff. And I think maybe again because not having a prostate is making this process feel different. Because again, with the prostate, your prostate can get swollen during a procedure like that, and then you'd have to stay with the catheter the 8 days or 7 days that the stent stays in there. And boy, I mean, I know I wouldn't have been able to. There's no way I would have been able to stay awake while they did that. I mean, because I'm in the operating. I mean, I'm in the waiting area in the surgery area. Waiting for them to call me, and I heard other people when they were pulling out the catheter. People were making sounds like, oh, they weren't screaming like I did, but they didn't have almost, and up to a 2-hour catheter ripped out of them, for 2 hours. It was, these people knew what they were doing. So, but I'll keep you updated. The technology in there is definitely probably better than videos I've seen 12 to 7 years ago. Uh, Maybe it's the same, but the equipments are more different. The way it was set up when I went into that emergency room, they had a scanner just to make sure they can locate it, as well as when they stuck that thing, that tool in you. Hey, what's up, Eric? But anyone, like I said, I'll be making some videos for people that are possibly going through the same thing or thinking about going through the same thing, terrified for a catheter. If you had, I mean, this doctor just came out and I didn't even ask him to put, if a catheter was in me, would he put me to sleep? I didn't ask him that. I just cried and just explained to him that, I was told that there wasn't going to be a catheter. And, it's like almost everyone that came out had a catheter. It's just a little sore when I pee down there. It's just like at the tippity top. It just stings a little bit. But once the pee gets flowing, you don't really notice it. I'm sure no stones are coming out yet because of the stent. Maybe this. I've been peeing in a filter that BB got, a screen. So far no stone. But again, maybe when that stent comes out, because the stent is helping the flow to get out. I don't think it's passing a stone through there that he broke into pieces. I think once the stent comes out, then the pieces will come out. But like I said, on the right side where the stent is, in the beginning, it was hurting. It was like less than a minute. Tolerable because I knew that pain was going to go away. It did, and it feels like you got kicked in down there in the huevos. That's what it feels like. Well, if someone tapped you down there, you're like, ooh. And then you can feel a little bit on the right side. Well, mine's is on the right side and stuff. So, I mean, overall, like I said, I just thank God that, the doctor himself had said, listen, if a catheter does go in you, I will put you back to sleep to take the catheter out. He promised me that. And like I said, I woke up without a catheter. So whether the catheter was in me or not, I'll never know. I mean, because again, I woke up and then by that time they were saying, okay, you're ready to go home. So I didn't have enough time to ask questions. I think they told BB everything, but I don't even think they mentioned if a catheter. But like I said, it looks like you do get a catheter in you when you come out of surgery, I guess to get all that blood out. I'm just peeing blood right now. But that was earlier. The blood was heavier. I've been drinking a lot of water and lemon. I mean, I'm just drinking itself so I can just pee this blood out because, again, I don't want to get a clot or nothing. I'm able to walk around, just can't lift up nothing for like the 8 days and stuff. And then the days will tell. Each day will tell. Because like I said, I could probably wear a pair of shorts that are not tight fitting with no underwear around the house. Right now, BB has pads, and I'm just sitting on the chair with no pants on, letting the private area air out, you know, and the pad is that way I'm not leaking. And I'm not leaking or nothing, but I did notice that if I did have to go, I'm not able to hold it. But then again, you know, that could be because they might have had put a catheter in there, or they stretched out the private area hole out. But I haven't peed on the floor or nothing like that, but I'm just saying, like, I am running to the bathroom because it feels like I can't hold it. Which, you know, it's a good or bad thing because you do want to keep that urinating and that blood, you know, constantly out. And like I said, they just gave me a Valium for when I go see them on the 8th, and antibiotics and stuff. So other than that, you know, the only thing I'm going to be scared of is like pooping and stuff, because when you're pooping, you're sitting down, and sometimes you pee when you poop. So that'll be one thing that we'll see. No special diet or nothing. You can just eat regular. Just, I think they said just try to stay a lot away from like greasy stuff. But I mean, I had Burger King today, so you know, I had BB tried to, you know, it came with a soda, but I was just like, you know what? I took a couple sips of the soda, then I just said to myself, because that's the other thing. If I drink coffee or something like that, the caffeine is gonna make you urinate a lot. I'll probably try a cup of coffee tomorrow just to see. But I've been, like I said, I've been taking my pain medicine. So, but I mean, the sting will always be there in the beginning at the tip of the private part. But no, I've just been resting. I mean, I took a nap earlier, so I'm not really as tired. But while I'm awake, I'm just still filtering myself with water. Like I said, because that's one thing. You want to keep peeing, because if you don't pee, like if they call tomorrow and they said, have you been peeing? And I say, no, I haven't been peeing. They'll probably say, no, you got to get a catheter and stuff. So, but yeah. When she brought the soda, I took a couple of sips, and then I just said to myself, like, you know, I stopped drinking soda for months now. I mean, I might have had one soda from January to now. I might have had maybe one soda. But I just said to myself, I don't want it. First of all, I don't want a kidney stone. But it was like, I just don't want the soda. I was not desiring the soda. Just trying to be more, whatchamacallit, like, you know, when you're focusing on something, just focus on what I was doing before, you know, after I went to the hospital. Just keep drinking my 64-ounce water plus lemon water. Plus, if I drink more than that, and like I said, I only have one cup of coffee in the morning, and that usually the caffeine will make you pee a lot. So I'm just gonna see tomorrow when I drink that one cup of coffee, just to see how that is, and if it's gonna hurt even worse, then I'll just, you know, do away with the coffee until the stent is out and everything. I'm not a big coffee drinker. I might have half a cup, but you know, it's just yeah. I mean, the soda is definitely not worth the thing. Yeah, and it was crazy because I when I went there, I was just saying to myself, like shit, it doesn't hurt no more. You know, like I really don't have to go here, but you know, it's stuck there. Then I thought to myself, it's stuck. It's not like it's moving around in my bladder or moving around in the kidney. It's literally stuck blocking a kidney, and that's not good for you. So, especially having one kidney doing all the work, and that's just literally building up, and it could build up more stones in it with it being blocked like that. So, and I just, like I said, I just kept saying to myself, like, Jesus, like, it's not like, it's kind of like when you're sick and then you go see a doctor and then all of a sudden the next day you're fine and you said to yourself, well, hell, why did I go see the doctor? Like, you could be sick 5 days, you go see the doctor, all of a sudden he doesn't do nothing, and he just says, all right, go take some penicillin, eat soup, or just go eat soup, and you start feeling better. And it's like, wow, that's how my mind was getting. But then when I got into the area, the post-op area, and they were talking about a catheter and stuff, then I was just like, no, I got no, I can't do this. Like, there's no way I can do this. And as the time was getting closer and closer, I was just going, like, in my mind was just going crazy. I was like, like I said, I was hearing the other people getting the catheters, and I'm thinking like this, because the surgeon is not the doctor, the urologist guy that I seen. The urologist guy, he was like, oh, no, you don't get a catheter. Don't worry about it. You just get the string, and they pull it out, the stent. And then when I got there, it was like, that's all I kept on saying, like, this MFer lied to me. This MFer lied to me. Yeah, he knew I was going to get a catheter, so. Yeah, you do go to, you're on anesthesia when you get the procedure done, but you're not on anesthesia when they pull out the stent that's on the string. They put some cream down there. But like I said, when I was crying and trying to explain the story that, like, I just, like, mentally, I can't do this. The doctor promised me that he would put me back to sleep to remove the catheter. And the only thing I remember was just waking up with no catheter, and then it was like waking up to go home. A lot of people that they woke up there that had the catheter, they were awake and they were making them turn certain positions. Turn left, turn right, whatever. For, they turned left for like 20 minutes and then turned right for 20 minutes and laid on their back. And then they went and they pulled the catheter out. But it, like, if it wasn't for the doctor to make that promise to me, to say, like, listen, because it's a 50-50 chance. But most likely, I think they just do it for precaution reasons. Because again, if you have a prostate, your prostate might swell, and then it will block you from going to the bathroom. I don't have a prostate, so I have nothing there to block it other than muscles that I'm using to hold my urine. Those are the muscles there. So hopefully, they don't get swollen or whatever from the surgery. But I've been peeing good and everything, and whether I had a catheter or not in me, I'll probably ask him. But I don't know. Like I said, he promised me I would be asleep, so it's a possibility I had the catheter in me. They never woke me up, and then they just pulled out the catheter while I was asleep. But other than that, without lifting and stuff like that, I think tomorrow I'm just gonna just walk around the outside of the house. Just sit outside for a little bit to get a little bit of sun and stuff, because I don't want to get, of course, you don't want to get blood clots in your legs neither, just from sitting and stuff. I do have compression socks from previous surgery, so I'll probably wear the compression socks and stuff like that, because like I said, it doesn't bother me when I walk around or anything, unless if I had shorts on. But like I said, I'm not wearing shorts. I'm sitting on a pad, because BB says that way it'll air dry itself. And I felt like a gooey stuff was coming out, and it was sticking to the diaper. But I really don't need the diaper, to be honest with you. I don't need the diaper. I think when the string comes out, I might need the diaper for a while, because like I said, I when I was drinking, there was 2 times where I almost couldn't hold it in, and I was running to the bathroom, and I was just saying to myself, like, wow, I can hold it, but when it's full, I gotta, do that exercise again to get those muscles build up down there. That's what makes, because like I said, they probably stretched it out when they put that operating tool in there. So I gotta wait for that to, gotta rework that out. But I'm not in diapers or anything to where I have to wear a diaper. It does sometimes feel like you gotta pee, the urge to pee, I guess, which is good because you want it. Like I said, you want to keep on peeing this stuff out. So, I'm just, like I said, just chilling out. Just wanted to get on here and let everybody know because we didn't record it. We didn't go live when we went home and stuff because I was like out of it. And then I'm sure BB just wanted to drive to get home. I mean, hell, she almost caused an accident. She almost ran into somebody. She didn't see a car. But, I haven't worn under. Well, when I was younger, when I moved to Florida, you never wear underwears. I think that's a Florida thing, wearing underwears. But then I that was when I was single anyway. When I was single, I didn't wear underwears. But then you think about it after a while, what if you get into an accident or an accident on your pants? You ain't got your underwears to help you out. But yeah, I think, like I said, when I was single, I remember I went like a couple of years without underwear, wearing underwears and stuff, just free falling there. But yeah, like I said, other than that, it was a, it was a, it's a pretty weird experience. Uh, but it's not as bad, like I said. But I'll tell you one thing, like at first, the first couple times I peed, boy, it felt like someone slapped me down there. I was like, oh my gosh. But like I said, less than a minute, if even. Man, maybe 30 seconds or something, that the pain gradually goes away. That's because you're peeing, through that stent and stuff. So, I mean, so it'll be May 8th is when I get it removed. So that's going to be, whew, that shouldn't be that bad. I know there's going to be a little bit discomfort, possibly a little bit of pain, but it's definitely not going to be as much as pain as a stent getting stuck in you. So, what is it? 1988 was the year I graduated Ridgewood High School. Then moved to Clearwater in 1990. But like I said, I think the no wearing underwears is like a thing here and stuff. But like I said, I'll make a couple of videos. Our anniversary is May, so look at that. The day before I get my stent taken out is your anniversary. Well, my anniversary for my 5 years of being cancer free will be May 15th. It was in 2020 when I had my prostate removed because I had prostate cancer. And how ironic that I had a kidney stone the same month that my prostate was removed 5 years ago. But yeah, on the 15th of May, I'll be 5 years prostate cancer free. So that's a hell of a journey there and stuff. Like I said, I think if the catheter would have came out the right way the first time, I probably wouldn't be as fearful with the catheter as I am, today. It was for real. Like, I didn't think it was going to hit me, but when they said about the catheter thing, it hit me real hard. It was like, no, it's real. Like, they're really going to put a catheter in you and stuff. Yep, 5 years. They say, I think my father, like 20 years or something, or 18 years it takes after the 18 or 20-year mark, then you never have to worry about cancer, especially in that area there. My father's 95, and he's plus 20 years cancer free from prostate. So I'm just in the beginning. I get tested annually, and it's always in the negative. But yeah, I mean, sometimes I just think like, it's weird that this happened the same month and as my cancer anniversary. So, and I'll probably do a cancer anniversary recap just to let everybody know that in the beginning I thought I made a bad decision with removing my prostate like that, so radical and stuff. And then after like a year and a half of going through hell, I think about it, and it's like it was worth it. Other than the catheter incident and stuff that really messed my mind up, but it was definitely worth going through that. The kidney stone, not so much. When it just stopped hurting, I just felt like it wasn't worth it and stuff. Oh, congratulations! 10 years on the colon cancer. That's a tougher battle there. I know that because there's like those percentages depending on what your levels are in the colon. It's death, just like stomach cancer. If you got stomach cancer, I mean, it can be death. Like stomach cancer is death automatic if you got stomach cancer and stuff. But colon cancer is the second one that, depending on what a level is, that's death. Prostate cancer, depending on your age and depending on the level and how much it's spread, can be death as well. I don't want to say I got lucky, but I was at a 7 something on the scale of 1 to 10. But because of my age group, I was able to, like if my father at 95 or anyone like in their 70s or something, because you figure that they only give you 10 years. If you're in the 70s and you had like an 8 or a 9 in your prostate, 9 out of 10 times they wouldn't even bother doing surgery, because first of all, your heart, however conditions you are in your heart and all that other stuff, that all plays into factor too, because it's like, sometimes if you don't, like my father has a pacemaker, he can never go into surgery for anything. So it's like if you do get something at a certain age that you can't go under, then it's just a countdown. But that's 10 years is definitely amazing feat. But I bet you that journey was harder, probably than the prostate. Having prostate cancer, because just the things they did to me through the process, from surgery to pre-surgery, way pre-surgery, all the stuff you got to go through before you even get surgery, to all the stuff you have to go to after surgery. Like I said, it was like a year and a half of hell and regrets and stuff like that. And like I said, and a lot of it has to do with because of that catheter incident that happened with me, where the girl just didn't know how to take it out, or it got stuck, or they didn't let the fluid out, or whatever, the air, or whatever the hell was going on. That traumatized me. And, just hearing the word and talking about it just makes my bones chill and just tears my eyes up, because it's like, it was worse than going through the kidney stone pain, because it's just, it's your private area, and it's just that one little hole, and it's crazy. It gets crazy and stuff. But I just finished washing dishes, like I said, and just watching some TV, just drinking fluids, but I just want, like I said, I think just the way the technology is today. I was in there for a lot of hours because we didn't get home till 4 o'clock. It's about a 45-minute drive from the surgery center. I mean, everybody there was awesome, compassion. All that was all good experiences. It was just up to the point where I was hearing people getting their catheter taken out and just going, like one guy was like, and she's like, okay, that's it, it's out. And I was like, Jesus, like why couldn't that happen to me when I had my catheter taken out? Why couldn't I just go instead of freaking screaming in pain and agony and everything? But I give credit to my doctor. He was very compassionate. You know, I would have never thought about saying like, "Hey, if you take this out, can you put me to sleep again?" Because they were, I would just think they would say no. But he just came out and said, "Listen, I promise you, if I'll see if I have to put a catheter in you, and if I have to put a catheter in you, I'll put you back under to take the catheter out." He's like, but the kidney stone's got to come out. He's like, and everybody, the nurses, the anesthesia, everybody was very, like everybody knew. I guess the word just got around, and everyone just, just came by just to make sure, I was okay mentally, because at that point, like I said, I was ready to say screw it. Like I just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I mean, I don't know if there is ever going to be a surgery to where they have to put a catheter in me and take it out if I'm awake, that I would do. And that's crazy, because it's like it could be a life or death surgery, and I would probably just say, you know what, screw it, because if you're not going to put me under to take it out, then just screw it, because I mean, today it tested my PTSD on that part, on the catheter scare, and like I said, if it wasn't for the doctor just to say that, it made me feel a little bit at ease. But still, just the word and just thinking about that day, it never makes me feel at ease and stuff. It was horrific. And I'm sure a lot of you guys out there have been in a situation where something's horrific, and it stays in your mind, and regardless how many years. It doesn't have to be a catheter. It can be anything in life that, whether it's a broken arm and you had a bad experience, or just anything. And it's like, you don't want to revisit that. And if it was like a life or death, you say, screw it, man. Like, just let me die, because it's not worth it. It just, So we'll see. I know this, when they pull the string out, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to hurt a little. But like I said, she said it's not as big as it's real tiny, this stent. So I've been up since 12 a.m. and I'm getting ready. Yeah, I've been up. I went to bed. I've been on and off sleeping. I got up at like 8, and then I fell asleep for a little bit. And then I was watching Chris Cuomo. Thank you, CC. Thank you very much. Thank you, Crafty Ela. Hello from Sebring. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, this little itty bitty pain is just right at the tip of the PP, and it's only when I urinate. Sometimes if I move a different position, but like I said, I think that's because of the surgery. Like they opened that up there, and in the beginning it hurted where the stent was. Like it felt like it kicked you down there, and the huevos, and just a little bit above where the stent is. But I don't know if it's the pain pill or it's because I keep on urinating a lot. Because like I said, I am drinking the water to keep that urinate. It's because if you don't urinate, they can put a catheter in you, because that's you got to get all that blood out. They say it's going to take a couple days for the blood to come out, which is I'm cool with it. But it's a hell of a lot less pain, and I don't think about nothing else. Other than looking at that string coming out, it's just like, it kind of reminds me of the catheter days, and then I just trying to figure out what the hell, how the hell, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I pull that string out, And this stent is as long, it goes from the kidney all the way inside the kidney the to the bladder. So at first I was thinking like, oh my God, this, before I knew there was going to be a string there. And that was the other thing, I was dumb and not to ask questions when I was in the doctor's office, because after I got the 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 CT scan, he called me up just to say, yeah, you need surgery. We're gonna set a date up. And instead of me just asking like, whoa, what is the? Because all he said is like, yeah, we take it out, we put gel there, we numb it up. Like, I didn't know nothing about strings and stuff like that. So, I even when I got there at the surgery center, I was still like, it was kind of like with the prostate cancer. I didn't learn nothing until it happened. You know what I mean? And I don't know, that's just a guy thing, or people do that, if it's not happening to you, you don't really care, you don't really do research. But I was going to ask the doctor, and then it was like, I just went into crying mode and panicking and everything. And when I got into the surgery room, I seen the tool, and I was like, oh my God, like, Jesus Christ. But then by that time, they gave me, first they gave me like a common medicine or a light medicine and even that almost didn't, like normally he told me he was going to give me air at first. And normally when you go there, you get the air mask, you breathe the air, then they make sure your heart is okay. And then they give you the thing. They didn't even do that. It was like as soon as I got to the I swear to God, they must have been in my IV or something, because, I mean, the first one must have been in my IV. They must have gave me that Michael Jackson juice, that white thing, because it was like when I moved over from the table, from the bed to the table, and the table is an awkward position. It's like you're on an angle and your butt goes into an area and there's a hole down there. And they lined me up, and then all of a sudden, man, no one told me anything. Like, all I remember was just waking up. Uh, that was crazy. But I'm from Kathleen area. I'm praying for you. Thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth. And so they didn't even warn me or nothing. All they was just telling me is like, oh, we're going to give you something to calm down. But, and I do appreciate that. You know what I mean? Because usually when you go for endoscopy, to check your internals, or colonoscopy, that's what it is. Usually they, you're in there, whatever, they put the mask on you, they tell you to breathe, and then all of a sudden they said, okay, now count to 10. I mean, this was like, I had no prep or none. I just remember moving over, they lined me up, they put a strap to go over my arm, like to keep my arms on my chest, and they put some kind of strap on you, like a straight jacket strap thing there, I guess. And then your knees are up the way that you're sitting on this weird table with a hole in the center. And I was out like a light, and then it was just, I just woke up, and they were like, all right, you're ready to go. So, like I said, it's a possibility. I had the catheter, and the doctor kept this promise that while I was still under, maybe, they were moving me over side to side, and then they pulled the catheter out while I was asleep. No complaints there and stuff, but that happened so quick. All I remember was just waking up, and it was like I felt like I slept good in a long time. And and I guess probably it was better not to tell me that they were getting ready to put me out, because then probably my anxiety would have gotten even higher. You know what I'm saying? But overall, like I said, just the little pain that I'm going through. I'm taking pain pills and stuff, but it's nothing. It's like I said, I gotta squeeze my private part when I pee to ease up the pain, because if it just comes out like that, it hurts like right at the tip. It just like hurts real sharp, but it goes away as you're urinating and stuff. So what I do is I just try to squeeze it a little to ease the pain up a little there. And I don't know if it's because it's the gooey, like, like when you have gooey stuff come out of there, it might be shutting that close, and then the pee is forcing it open. But I think it's kind of like a. I think I might have had a UTI, but I guess it's kind of like a UTI when you pee. But it's not a bad UTI because, like I said, it'll go away. And just peeing a lot. Now I'm not feeling that kicking in the private part there. Because, like I said, I don't care if I have to stay up all night. I just want to make sure, that I'm drinking water and flushing it out. So it doesn't bother me to stay up all night. It's not like I got anything to do for 8 days and stuff. So my main objective is just to keep flushing myself out, and get all that urine. Yeah, that's what I've been doing. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just like I mean, it's like li- like maybe over time, but I think it could be because again the surgery too, that they opened up the hole there, and maybe, but it's not like a bad pain. Like I said, it's just a pain of like it's coming, and you're just ready for it, and then once you pee, and then the pee starts flowing, the pain just mellows and then starts working its way down. It's just that first beginning part and stuff. So it just might be sore in that area there. So, but like I said, other than just not asking on how this procedure went and everything, I regret not saying something or learning about it more, because there's really not that many videos. A lot of videos I've seen were 12 years ago. It doesn't look like much has changed, but I'm sure something well, maybe they didn't have, because according to this doctor, they put cream and gel down there to numb it up when they pull it out. Maybe they didn't have cream and gel back then. I don't know. But, I mean, I'll definitely let you guys know everything. That was the other thing I had asked Phoebe was like, did they say anything about washing? But when they call tomorrow to check up on me, I'm going to ask them about all that stuff there. Because it looks real weird, like with the string sticking out. It's I don't know. It's just, I'm kind of like my youngest daughter. I remember when she was young, she used to watch like surgery. We used to watch surgery channels, and they would cut the leg open and rip it apart, and she's just like with her hands behind her head, and I'm just like, ugh. You know what I'm saying? Like, even some scary movies. I can watch scary movies, but then there's like, if you see something where they're cutting like it open and they really get gruesome, sometimes I'm like, ugh, I can't even. Like when BB watched Dr. Pimple and she starts cutting that, I can't even watch that. So just looking at that string just really like, I'm just like, ugh, like I don't even want to look down there if I don't have to. But I'll ask the doctor about that there and stuff, because I said they always call the next day to see how you're doing, and the main thing is urinating and stuff. Also wear loose. Yeah, I mean, like BB had a pad, so for a while there I was just sitting butt naked on a pad to let it air out and stuff, because like I said, I was trying the diaper thing, thinking I could just urinate into the diaper, but it was hurting more. So B was like, listen, just sit there, let it air out for a while. I did go with her to the store, and I just put these loose shorts on with no underwear. And, but yeah, you are correct. I'll be wearing like the shorts, because tomorrow I'm going to just walk around outside around the house only. Just to get out and get some sun, and like I said, to keep my legs faint. But yeah, you are correct. You have to wear like gym shorts or something to wear, not a bathing suit, because a bathing suit has that fishnet. You don't want nothing to push up. You just want it to dangle there. But yeah, you are correct. I am definitely going to be wearing loose shorts and stuff. So, but like I said, I just like it just. It's always a learning situation when people just go under stuff. And it's always good. I mean, I don't care who you are. It's always good to help out others, to let them know what the new technology is. I know there's some things in life when you're on YouTube, you just, you want to keep to yourself and everything. And then there's some things, you don't want to share. But I feel like, if someone is going through something and you have an opportunity to maybe help one person out, like with my videos with the prostate cancer, a lot of people made comments on there that were going through the same thing. So I was like, I was pretty happy that I was able to help, because at that time there was nothing. They didn't have that much technology on older videos and stuff. So, YouTube out there, when people do tell their story, it does help other people. So, but that's why I said with this here, I would probably share some experiences I went through, because like I said, a lot of videos I've seen are 12 years to 7 years old, and it's like, I don't know if it's the same thing as it used to be, but there was nothing mentioned that you were getting a catheter. It was just like, basically they just went in there, stuck a stent. Nothing about a string. I never, about strings and stuff and how they pull it out, and that'll be the next experience. Like I said, in like 8 days from now and stuff. But I'll probably go out there and water the trees tomorrow. That's it. Just basically keep my legs anyway. But like I said, the only thing I'm just worried about is just going to take a number 2, because again, like, you're peeing sometimes when you're taking a number 2. So, and you're really close to that. Men anyway are close to the toilet bowl. So it's like that'll be the next. Like, I'm scared to poop while this string is in me. That's the only thing. And I'm just scared. Like I said, I just thought again, like what if I get an erection? Like, is this string gonna pull? But the way they have it is they have it taped right at the top of the area there. So if you did get an erection, the string. But then again, is the string inside long enough and not gonna pull? So it's like, I'm trying not to get no erections. That's probably another thing I'm scared of, because when I did fall asleep on the sofa, because a man, what I learned through prostate cancer is that a man has just erections through the night while they're sleeping. And that's uncontrollable. That's just a fact of life, that through the night, your penis has erections so many times a night. I know when I was sleeping on the chair, there was twice where I felt like a pinch, but I didn't see no erection. But like I said, you're sleeping while these erections are happening. Like, you don't feel them or nothing. They just, it's not that morning erection. It's just through the night. And that's what I learned from the prostate cancer, was that a man goes through those cycles at nighttime. So that's when I was just thinking, like, man, like, that's why I'm not sleeping on the bed. I'll probably sleep on this chair. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But tonight I'm just going to be out here on the chair where I'm inclined, because we have a recliner and stuff. And just, if I don't get no sleep, I don't get no sleep. I just sleep all day. But right now, I don't think I'm just scared to lay flat, because I tend to lay on my stomach. It's hard for me to lay on my back, and then possibly having a blanket on there, and then it's moving that string around. That's another thing I'm scared of. It's just that any movement of the string with a blanket on me, or me rolling over, no one likes pain. I don't want to feel a pinch. You know what I mean? It's just a little pinch. It feels like a needle, but it's still. No one wants to feel that. So definitely, our bed does sit up. It reclines up and everything, but it's not fair for BB to have her sleep, because I gotta We don't have it separate where it inclines up. It's like the whole bed just inclines up and stuff. And I'll be all right on the recliner there. It's comfortable. Then I was thinking too, is like maybe I, either putting a heat pad on my back or just where that stent is at. I was thinking like if I did have like in the beginning when I was urinating and it just hurted a little bit and it went away, then I was just thinking maybe I should put something warm there, but it's one of those learning process as you go through. But I do appreciate everybody that's up this late. I'm surprised. I just wanted to make a quick video. Just let everybody know that I'm okay. A lot of videos you're going to be seeing for the next 8 days are pre-made videos because I, never had this type of surgery before. I don't know what I'll be going through. So I made sure these 8 days that from now to the time I get it removed that I had no plans, no nothing. We'll probably be straight home 8 days. I'll probably do a video just to explain the experience, but other than that, man, I'm surprised people are still up this late. There's nothing on TV. I don't care how many channels you got. Sometimes there's just nothing on TV. But anyway, thanks guys for showing up tonight. Hope you enjoy our videos. I don't know, maybe BB might go live tomorrow. Maybe we'll go live or something tomorrow. Well, that's the thing. I think because I still have that stent in me. I think the stent is blocking because what they did was they broke the stone up. And that was the thing there. That was the other thing that the doctor said. The surgery alone is an hour and a half. And then depending on if they can break the stone. Sometimes it's harder to break the stone, so it takes longer. I guess it takes more laser shots. That's another thing I got to ask too. But I think when they put, like I said, right now, BB's got me peeing on the screen, and no stone has came out yet. So I'm thinking that stent, if they broke up the stone and they put the stent in, and the stones are stuck in my bladder. Just say the pieces of stones are stuck in my bladder, or the pieces of stones went back up into my kidney because they put the stent in. It's not going to pass through the stent. You know what I'm saying? It's going to, because the stent, all the stent is doing is it's unblocking my kidney because the stone had been blocking it for who knows how long. Could be years. It could have been a year. I don't know. But it takes, they say sometimes that a 5 millimeter, that could be a 10-year-old stone. So depending how long it's been in there blocking, that stent is just to clear that up so that your kidney doesn't fail and go bad. That won't pass no stones through there because she said it's very small. It's smaller than a catheter. So when they remove that stent, maybe maybe that's the pain that I'm feeling is at the top of my pee. But so far, I've not peed nothing yet. Just peeing blood, but no rocks came out. So maybe when that stent does come out now, and then it's going to expand the kidney canal, I'll call it. And then with this being expanded, and then I'm taking a medicine, and what a medicine does is it opens up your hole to urinate so that you can pass stones. So maybe after the 8th, because they say that's another 4 to 7 days, maybe I'll be passing stones after the 8th, but right now, today, no stones that I know of passed. Maybe some passed during the surgery when after the surgery, maybe some of those pass. I don't know. But, I mean, I really won't know anything until something happens. So, that's going to be that one there. I really won't have an answer to that stone until the 8th comes or something before the 8th happens. So, but right now, today, no stones have passed through me so far. So, and then depending how small they broke them up into, I don't know. Like, if these are questions I'm probably going to have to ask, you know, Wednesday, which these are questions which I should have asked, but I just didn't. Maybe when the lady calls tomorrow to check up on me, I'll ask her. Maybe she might have an answer, but she's just the lady from the surgery center. So, but like I said, I'll definitely let you guys know once a stone comes through. I'll probably, I'll probably know when the stone comes through, but I'll definitely let you guys know when the stone comes through. But I'm gonna bank on that. I think the stones will probably come through after that stent comes out there, because again, you know, it's just giving me flow. But I think when the stent is out, I'll have heavier flow. It says write down any concerns. Yeah. So when you see, we all get brain. Yeah, you are so correct. You are correct, Crafty. We do get brain farts. Like I said, it's just like in life. When, you know, things go good in life, you never look into it, you never care about it until it happens to you. And then all of a sudden, you're like I said, I didn't even know what a prostate was. I didn't even know what a prostate was until they said I had prostate cancer. And next thing you know, they're sticking something up my butt, because that's how they get samples of your prostate. They stick this big tube up your butt and it's ripping out samples. And I'm asking a question like, hey, you know, why this thing is up my butt? What's a prostate? So it's like, you know. And then, like I said, when I was ready to ask some questions, it's when I broke down, because the stent, you know, when they were talking about putting stents in me and stuff. Hey, Jorge from Sebring, how you doing? Thank you. But yeah, you're right. I got to write this stuff down and stuff. Uh, and then, like I said, I'll let you guys know. You know what I'm saying? Hubby in the house, Jorge. Well, anyway, I'm going to get off of here, because I got to go to the bathroom, of course. And I appreciate everyone who came on here and stuff. And we'll try to come live tomorrow. See if I can convince BB. We'll come live and have some fun. And like I said, I'll make some videos if anything happens from there, to keep everybody informed, and watch our other videos that we've put out. And it stinks because it's like 8 days I'm not going to be able to cook on the griddle. I'll be eating junk food. I had Burger King today. I already weighed myself. I gained 3 pounds. That's the only thing I was scared of. I'm not saying BB can't cook. I'm just scared to go to the bathroom. Number 2, because again, number 2, peeing at the same time. I don't know what kind. I know with the catheter, when I had to do a number 2 with the catheter, that was crazy. That was crazy experience. But thanks again, guys. You take care. Any questions or whatever, definitely leave them in the comments. We answer everyone's questions and stuff. I'm sure BB, if BB was awake right now, she'd be here. But I mean, she's tired. She got up early with me. So, and we do love everyone on here that comes on here. So, thank everyone. Jorge, Crafty, Scenic, Dad Vader, Michelle, Cece, Elizabeth, Eric. Let me see if I didn't miss anybody. Travis. Thank you all for joining me tonight. See ya.